holding costs. Holding costs are insurance, property taxes, utilities, anything that it's not the actual rehab itself, but we want to make sure we allocate. Those are actually, real spending that we want to make sure it's allocated into the project. Then we have obviously the total. How much is our total all in for the project? Purchase, closing cost, and estimated, and what we budgeted for the renovation and holding costs. Every time you see a cell that has a light gray background, it's a formula. So you don't need to override it, it's just a formula. Then we factor in some sort of some estimated selling date and what is the target selling price. Then we're going to take the selling, the commission, 6%. Maybe you're paying 5%. Then you can just change the 5% and it will change the formula. We'll just move it back to 6. Sales expenses, if you have, maybe it'll be 1%, or maybe it will be 2.5%. It's no problem. And then it will all change respectively. And then we have the projected profit. The profit is simple. Our target selling price minus commission minus sales expenses minus the all-in. And we have our projected profit and the projected ROI, return on investment. You can see that in this example, we have 10% for the project, and the duration is estimated to be 6 months. So if we annualize the return, then 10% in 6 months, it's actually an annual return of 20%. We also created another area that you can say, maybe you're working with someone else and that person takes a portion of the profit, or you take a portion of the profit. You can say, okay, you know what, the investor, I'll keep 20% of the profit because I work with someone else. He's taking 80%, and you can see immediately what the net profit to that person is. So the first tier lets you just analyze the deal without any financing, just so we know how the numbers work. We created a second scenario and a third scenario so we can actually play with different numbers. For example, let's say our selling price is 170. Or let's say our purchase price is 95,000 and we're still going to keep it at 175. Okay, so we can actually compare multiple scenarios side by side to see the different options. Or maybe we'll see that they're all 175,000, but this is going to be a 40,000 budget, and this is a third, and in a much smaller option of a $35,000 renovation budget. So just to help us to run different scenarios and kind of compare them side by side. I will say as a side note that I'm always working my way backwards. So if I'm looking at scenario 1, and let's say my goal, and I'm going to put it here, let's say my goal is to have a 13% ROI for the project, 13%. That's it, this is my goal. And let's just focus on scenario number 1. I want to make sure this box here gets to be 13%. I'll just have to work myself back to that point. And let's just say for a second that I cannot change the renovation budget. So